Hey guys, you are new to ARK and you want to breed your first dinos, but you have no idea how it works and you feel completely lost in the overabundance of detailed breeding guides? Then I have the right video for you, because here I explain the basics that are needed to understand the advanced videos. If you like videos like this and you would like to see more videos like this, please leave a like under the video so I know you are interested in this content. If you have been on this channel for a while, you know that I have done a few breeding guides myself. However, one comment made me think. What Doi wrote is true. Many tutorials are aimed at the endgame and experienced players. But new players are still buying this game who have absolutely no idea what the game mechanics are about. Therefore, this tutorial is aimed at complete beginners. Those who have just bought the game and want to get the hang of mechanics of breeding, that's for you. Here you will learn the basics. This guide is explicitly not about mutating, but only about the breeding mechanics themselves. If you come across this video because you want to learn how to mutate, then watch those two videos. What is breeding? In ARK there are several ways to get new animals. One of them is breeding. Breeding is when you mate a male and a female of your existing animals and then get the offspring of these animals, which you then have to raise. There are many good reasons for breeding. You can combine your best stats without mutations, and you can get animals that exceed level 300 on normal settings. But above all, imprinting an animal will help you a lot. If you imprint your animal 100%, then you will take 30% less damage, and when you ride the animal, and deal 30% more damage. Even though it takes longer to breed an animal compared to taming an animal, you can get more at once. Breeding 20 Rexes at once takes the same amount of time as breeding 1 Rex, but taming 20 Rexes in a row will always take longer, especially considering you have to find good stats first. If you are interested in colors, you can also combine all possible colors and breed an animal that matches your imagination. If you just want to have a steady stream of new animals, breeding is also an easy method. So, as you can see, even without mutation, breeding is valuable for the game. Understanding attributes and level. Combining the stats of different attributes is usually the first reason why you want to breed animals in ARK in the first place. To combine them, it is helpful to understand how they work. Animals have 7 attributes with the exception of Gacha, which has 1 additional attribute. These are health, stamina, oxygen, food, weight, damage and speed. The additional gacha stat is crafting skill. Light pads have a slightly different attribute system. Theirs are health, charge capacity, charge regeneration, food, weight, charge emission range and movement speed. The Enforcer has the food attribute replaced with the energy attribute. However, the way it works is the same. The levels an animal has reflect the number of points that are in the different stats. To see what it looks like, I'll show you this animal. This is an animal level 1 and it has 0 points in every single stat. What you can see here are the base values that each animal starts with. Each additional level of the animal is distributed to one of these attributes, so a level 2 animal can have an extra point in life. Since the level of the animal only reflects the total points on the attributes but not their distribution, different animals of different level can have different points in different attributes. We take advantage of this when we are breeding. I'll show you on this infographic how that works, and these are real animals that I have tamed. Since we know that the baby can either get the mother or the father stat, let's just play this whole thing out. HP is better on the left, so 40 points. Stamina is better on the right, so 49 points. Oxygen is better on the right, so 32 points. Food is better on the right, so 31 points. Weight is better on the left, so 43 points. And damage is better on the right, so 35 points. Since it's a flyer, there is no movement speed, so 0 points. That makes a total of 230. Plus 1 level for the basic level, so 231. So the best baby out of these two could be level 231. And if we now find animals with even better stats, we can push this base level higher and higher. More than 300 is no problem if you have a little bit of patience finding the right breeding animals. After this huge theoretical part, we now come to the practical part. How exactly does the mating of dinos work? We will now go through this step by step. Wander or mating. Either you activate wander via the radial menu or you activate mating. Both are almost identical, but only almost. When you activate wandering, the animal will run around. One advantage is that if you are out of render range, the animal will still mate. With the second option, the animal remains still, but will not mate when you leave the render range. The difference doesn't sound that big at first, but it becomes noticeable when you play on unofficial servers. For example, if you play on a server with S+ and you use a hatchery, you want your animals to lay eggs even when you are not logged in. However, this does not work when your animals are only set to mating. To do this, you need to tie them to a hitching post and set them on wander. Then they will lay eggs when you are logged out and the hatchery can pick up those eggs. If you are playing on an official server, then I would not use the wander option when logged out, because there are some problems with wandering animals if the base is not rendered. Animals running through walls or falling through foundations are not very uncommon here. Eggs or pregnancy. After mating, the animal either lays an egg or the female is pregnant. It is important to note that only eggs laid after mating can be hatched. Eggs laid by the animal while standing in the base are not fertilized and therefore cannot be hatched. Now it's either a matter of hatching the fertilized eggs or waiting until the female's pregnancy is over. Whether an animal lays eggs or gives birth to babies depends on the animal. Here you can simply take a look at the ARK wiki and find out what applies to your animal. Breeding egg-laying animals is in general a little bit easier because you can store the eggs in the fridge and then hatch them all together. While with a pregnant female, you have to stay online and wait for the babies to be born. Feeding. As soon as the baby arrives, you need to put food in its inventory. The food you need depends on the baby. Some babies eat the same food as the adults. However, some babies need special food that you have to farm at short notice. An example would be wyvern and rock drakes, but also crystal wyvern. Until the baby has reached 10% growth, you have to put the food into its inventory. As soon as the baby has grown out of the baby phase and is juvenile, it automatically eats from the trough. Make sure that there's always enough food in the feeding trough. If you use a mod like S+, the nanny can take care of the feeding and the baby will automatically get food into its inventory when hungry. At 10%, the baby will start eating from the feeding trough. Depending on the server settings, your baby will regularly ask for imprinting. For this, they will want to have different foods, go for a walk, or to be cuddled. Make sure to always have the following items in your base: every kibble, meo, amas, azuberries, tintoberries, cooked meat, cooked fish prime, cooked prime meat jerky, and prime meat jerky. For wyverns, you also need wyvern milk, for rock drake's nameless venom, for magmasaur ambergris, and for ferox element, and for crystal wyvern primal crystal. The list is long, but there is a trick. When your baby asks for something that you don't have, put it in a cryo and throw it out again, and the imprinting will be re-rolled. You can then roll like this until something shows up that you have. The imprint will boost your tame stats. All stats except oxygen and stamina get a 20% boost in general. But if you, who has imprinted the tame, writes it, then your damage is reduced by 30% and you deal 30% more damage. This can make a huge difference. On official servers, the time between two imprints is 8 hours. On your own server and your single player game, you can adjust the time yourself. If you use mods like S+, then you can use the nanny, which will automatically imprint your baby up to 100%. After the mating. After the mating, your females will have a cooldown. This cooldown determines when they can be mated again the next time. Depending on the setting on your server or your single player game, this can be longer or shorter. The cooldown is a fixed scale and it is random which value it gets in the end. Only the minimum and the maximum values are fixed, but anything in between can happen. If you're unlucky enough and you get the maximum value, you can put the female in a cryopod and upload it in a transmitter. When you download it again and unpack it, the mating cooldown is reset and you have the chance to get a lower value. However, make sure that you have the permissions to download dinos, or rather to download items from the server, because especially on new maps the upload is often activated but the download is not allowed. As soon as the cooldown has expired, you can mate your females again. As you can see, the breeding mechanics in this game are relatively simple. But these are only the basics of breeding that are implemented in this game. If you are now interested in mutations, then have a look at the 2 videos I made on the subject of mutations. These 2 videos will give you basic understanding what you need to successfully breed your super dinos. I hope this tutorial has helped you to get an insight onto how breathing mechanics in ARK work. If you have any questions, please post them in the comment section or join our Discord under the following link. Otherwise, have a nice day and thank you for watching. Bye bye!